A Moment with Tyranny podcast. This episode and conversation is powered by Homes with Tyranny. Hey, hey, hey! It's another episode of A Moment with Tyranny podcast. And we're going to make this a family affair tonight. So I have my sister and my mom here. We got a good topic to talk on today. And we're just going to jump right on in there and get started. Our topic today is nothing is wasted. So we're going to just get started. We've had this conversation. We've kind of talked on it. And, we go in life and we're like, oh, everything doesn't flow the way we think it needs to flow. We feel like we've wasted time because we don't get things that we need, or things don't pan out exactly the way we expected it to. And we feel like, oh, well, that was a waste of time. Or, oh, this, if I had done this, then maybe this could have been better. And so we feel like we've wasted time and so much in our lives. But we have to realize, and one thing that my mom has said, my sister, people around me, is like, you know what, but did you learn from it? What is it? So let's just jump in. Let's have the topic. What do we feel like? Anybody jump in. How do you feel about wasted time?
I feel like there's absolutely no wasted time. There's a purpose for everything. We can refurbish mistakes or even trials, and we can get something good out of that.
And I think that every opportunity presents two sides. One for failure, which is an opportunity for you to learn, grow, and get better so that you don't repeat the same mistakes.
Yeah.
And the other side, of course, is, you would see success. I'd like to share just a quick story about a friend of mine who had a competition this week, and this put her fourth in the state of Texas for her accomplishment. But then when she went to nationals this week, of course, she did not make nationals. The first thing you want to think is that, well, bummer, I'm disappointed.
Yeah.
But you have to count your blessings in that just the idea that you were there participating, you have made a mark toward your ultimate goal. So even though it might seem at times that you missed out in something, and maybe you saw some waste, there was really nothing, because she was able to learn from that. And again, nothing was wasted.
Yeah. And let's even think about that. There's people that didn't even make it to the trip that was trying to get there. So, they had to learn from a lower level, but they learned something too. So she got a little advanced, and then you got those people at the top. So there's always layers to success or adventures or things that happen. And so she got further than somebody. There was somebody that was looking at her like, man, I wish I had gone on that trip. And the important thing about being nothing wasted is she got to travel. What did she learn from that travel? What did she experience from making that trip? The people that she was around, what did she learn from them? What did she take away from that? So instead of looking at things as a negative thing, we need to look at it as a positive thing, because that's where it goes back to where you said nothing is wasted. And all of that really depends on how you look at your situation.
Well, I can think of things that happened in my life. It even caused tears, and I looked at, oh, that's wasted. No, not even the tears are wasted, because God said He bottled those tears for us.
Yes.
And those tears turned into joy for me. And I look at the trials that I've gone through, and it only elevated me to a higher level.
Yeah.
It got me to where I am today.
Yeah.
And I look back on those wasted, as some people would say, wasted time. No, nothing was wasted. I'm enjoying the product of what we would have called waste.
The fruits of your
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So I Mama's always taught us that whenever something or someone comes into your experience to set you back, it only elevates you.
Yes.
And so when you think sometimes in this life that someone else has the control over your destiny and that they're blocking you, all they're doing is making you figure out more creative ways to get what you came to get.
Yes.
And if you stay focused on your heart's desire, which is given to you by a higher power, then there's nothing that can stop that. So no matter what the day looks like, nothing is wasted. It's just an opportunity for you to learn, grow, and get stronger and better and more capable of achieving what you set to achieve.
Exactly. And you have something you want to add?
No.
So let me say this. I'm just going to kind of use a little scenario, or I don't know the right word I'm trying to use, but think of it like a boomerang. Whenever there's a situation or something that's happening, it could be a person, a thing, it's something that's happening. In order for you to catapult and go farther, you have to start getting pulled back.
Yes.
You've got to pull that slingshot back. And the further sometime you pull it back, the further you're going to catapult, or your situation is going to go. So when you look at a situation and you're like, man, that's not the way I planned it or what I wanted, look at it like, you know what, that's just your slingshot getting pulled back a little bit, and then we'll let you go. If you don't have enough force behind some things, and sometimes you don't need to really have a lot of force to go, but some people need more of a push to go as far as they need to go. But just think about it that way. Pull that slingshot back, let your situation, look at that pullback as the event.
Yes.
Look at the nothing wasted as far as you go.
Yes.
And when you land, you walk over there, you start again, get pulled back, because every day, I'm gonna tell you, every situation we go through, no matter how far and how successful you are, you're gonna always get to a point where you're gonna have to get pulled back, and you're gonna have to get thrown again. Let me say it like that. So go ahead.
Well, we even throw away, seed, things that we think is no value, and look around, and there's something that's grown from that. So actually, nothing is wasted.
Exactly. And even in nature, nothing is wasted, because you know what? We mulch, we compost. Things that people feel is rotten. It's not. It makes great soil so that we can have more food. Like you just said, a bird, a drop of seed. We think that's a waste. Let's talk about poop. Animals poop, and you can get a beautiful flower from it, because you don't know what that animal has eaten, and it causes it to grow. So nothing is wasted. You got something to say?
We're all part of this universe, and there's a life cycle that or an eco cycle that you're talking about now.
Yeah.
But if you could apply that to our goal setting and how we approach life, ultimately the whole concept of nothing is wasted is an attitude.
Exactly.
It's an attitude. If you approach it as, this is going to benefit another part of the system that we're in, and that it's part of me moving toward my goals, or toward peace, happiness, harmony, whatever that is, then nothing is wasted. It's all part of the process. So it's an attitude.
Definitely an attitude, in how you view things and how you do things. And because if you take it as a negative, it's going to be a negative, and that's going to create a negative environment, a negative thought, and woe is me. If you take it as a learning process, or like I said, a growing to your next level, everything that happens, it happens for a reason.
Yes.
And a season.
Yes.
And it's made to make us better. It's not meant to break us, even though sometimes we feel like, oh my God, I can't take it anymore. One thing I always say is that I'm a bend, but I'm not going to break, because I'm made to bend, but I'm not made to break.
That's right.
And so I try to really keep that attitude. I'm bending a little bit, but when I stand back up, I'm going to stand up even taller.
That's right.
So those are kind of some of the things that I think about on things. So
very good.
So let's, we just have a little moment with Tierney and my family and stuff. So what is something that we can encourage our audience to do whenever they feel something's happening in their life that it's feeling wasted. They're wasting their time.
Yes.
The situation is wasted.
Never feel like pain is the end for you. Always look at that as something that's going to, like you say, catapult you to your next level. Even though it's painful, it hurts, it's the discomfort of that, it doesn't feel good, but the outcome is going to be more than you expected.
Yes. And I would say during times where you feel that you're not moving towards your goal or you're not productive or the time that you're spending in certain activities is a waste of your time, look for the opportunities for you to walk away with something that's valuable to you and your purpose.
Yes.
And you'll be surprised. There's always a way you can spend things. Go, well, I didn't know that about such and such. So therefore, you did walk out richer from that experience. It may take a little bit longer than what you thought you had, but there's a reason for that. It might even be just the whole idea of networking with others. You might not see that you have a lot to offer a conversation, but then having been a part of that, you built a relationship, so nothing is wasted.
Exactly. Wow, that's great. That's great. I mean, I love that. And so I say the same thing. Let's take away from it. When there's time or things that's not going quite the way we think it needs to go, sometimes you know what? We're being taken another path for a reason that we don't see, we don't know. Just know that that path is not a wasted path. So I agree with that so wholeheartedly. So everybody know this is just a moment with Tyranny. Thank y'all for joining me this week. Remember, if you're not following me, follow me on YouTube, subscribe, share, like, and also I always end my podcast with a quote. And so my quote for today is, you are the sum, SUM. You are the sum of everything you've ever been. Nothing is wasted. So I'll say it one more time. You are the sum of everything you've been. Nothing is wasted. Thank y'all so much for joining me. And remember, y'all like us, and we'll be back next Friday, same time, 12 p.m. Central Standard Time, A Moment with Tyranny podcast. Thank you.
Bye.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.